Thank you very much for watching this video. Before we begin, I wanted to include a disclaimer, as I include in my about section as well as in the description of this video. All of my readings are for entertainment purposes only. They are never, ever meant to diagnose, treat, or otherwise have any influence upon your own medical issues or situations that you may have. I always encourage everyone to make their own sound decisions, including legal matters, financial matters, and every other matter in your own life. These are for entertainment purposes only. As these are general tea leaf readings, again, it makes sense, therefore, that some of this information will resonate with you and some of it may not. You may find that some applies and some doesn't. That is completely normal and to be expected, as these are general tea leaf readings. So again, take what you will and leave what you don't, and simply enjoy your reading and hope that you find it informative and insightful. Thank you. Hello and Happy New Year. Thank you so much again for visiting my channel today. I hope that you had an amazing festive season and that your New Year celebrations were wonderful as well. As you know by now, my name is Sarah, and this is a general bi-weekly tea leaf reading for the weeks of January 2nd and 9th of 2023. So let's look and see what the universe would like us to know for the next 2 weeks. As you can see, I have changed my background here from my typical rose pink, rose gold look to my sparkly turquoise. So bit of a change, and we are still sort of in the holiday season. We can still be festive and hope that you like the extra bling, the extra glitter. Okay, so looking at the leaves here for the next 2 weeks, it looks like we have a little bit of a reprieve after all of the busyness from the past few months leading up to the holidays. Resting time, a bit more of a quiet time, although certainly we do have things taking place, events and situations. We do have the typical layout that we do see, the format that we often see here, certainly on this channel, where we have one main event or situation, which you can again very clearly see here, and it does extend into the base. Going around the sides of the cup slightly to the right of that main event or situation are some clear spaces. That's what I was just referring to by quiet time. We do have some smaller events and situations taking place, like I just mentioned a moment ago. You can see that taking place here and also here as well. Overall, I will say, in addition to a bit more of a quiet time that we have approaching us in the next couple weeks here, we are going to be knowing where we stand. Whatever this main event or situation is referring to, we are going to have clarity. There's going to be things taking place right in front of us, essentially, right in front of our eyes. We're going to know, for the most part, where we stand. Things are fairly clear, not a whole lot of guesswork involved. Yes, of course, there's always unknowns. We're always learning things as events unfold. That's just the nature of life. However, generally speaking, we do know where we stand. There are some communications and thoughts and ideas taking place, but it's almost more action-based in a way. It's almost like something happens, we see it. Something is talked about, we see it. That seems to be the general theme going forward for this main event or situation. This entire week, essentially being today, January 2nd, and maybe even the 3rd, it's going to be relatively busy. And for reference, I'm going to say that there are 4 to 5 events or situations taking place as this week unfolds. Generally, it does look as though they do begin near the beginning of this week. The main event or situation does likely begin with a man, and there is abundance and prosperity associated with this. There also may be a familial family connection with this individual as well. We do have a short period of time before the entire events really start to take place. We can see that shown here by a little bit of clear space, however. It's not too much of it. I would say this is all going to begin likely on Tuesday, thereabouts. Whatever this scenario is referring to, it does begin with very good things. We are receiving something very good. It does involve this man or this abundance and prosperity. There may be some kind of documentation involved and or education. 3 different scenarios where we are receiving a lot of good things. These are very positive situations. One of them may involve a Cancerian connection, likely specifically an individual who is female with blonde or light-colored hair, learning, education. I know it's the beginning of the new year, great time to start new things, obviously. However, wisdom, learning, education, connection associated with this. You can see her right here. Surrounding her, we have a few images, family connection, person, place, or thing with the letter L. It's almost like this individual is a bit of an authority figure. She may be helping individuals under her, like she's helping people. Looks to be very trustworthy. Certainly a person, place, or thing with the letter L in here twice. And there is a reference here to a number 4. The L that I showed you a moment ago was actually a version of a number 4. It depends on how you look at it with the angle. So there may be number 4 associated with her in some way, shape, or form as well. The version of the number 4 is the symbol for Jupiter, which can also indicate a Sagittarius connection potentially. I'm not an astrologer. I'm just saying that in case it makes sense to you for reference. Around her, we also have documentation that likely has 2 parts to it. There's like one document that has one main part, one smaller part, and another document that has one smaller part and a medium part and a larger part. So there's like 3 different situations revolving or associated with that other document as well. And we also have a third document which is sort of like standalone. So they are indirectly related. If you may feel a little bit off or hesitant about whatever that other document is referring to in your situation, this is indicating that there is reassurance around that. We also have a dancing person, so someone is happy. This is a joyful situation. I don't know what this is referring to, obviously. However, there's also indications here of happiness, things going well. If you're undertaking a project or starting something new, something that's different, it does look like it is a positive scenario. It does look promising. And there are some documentation and a helpful individual in getting things tidied up and organized. There's a lot of reassurance. Whenever I see the same images or images which have similar meanings and they're repeated in a tea leaf reading at least 3 times, what I say to my clients then is that in this case, the universe is telling us there is reassurance to be had. We're not to worry. We are to relax, trust in source, trust in the divine source, creator, whatever name or names you're comfortable with using, and knowing that everything truly is in divine right order always. And that's just a nice reminder to hear, I think, anytime anyway, but this is definitely showing that there is reassurance being indicated here at the beginning of this week, and therefore also at the beginning of this year. Depending how you look at it, we either have a unicorn or we have a horse being shown right here. So unicorns for myself can represent a change in status, if you want to use that phrase, going from one phase of life into another phase of life, like turning a new leaf, a new chapter, a new beginning. We're looking at this as being a pony, a horse. To me, that represents swiftness of movement, possibly travel, maybe even going abroad, life force, vitality, literally being unbridled, going for whatever it is that you want. And it does look positive. There's a happy face here. It does look like whatever that situation is, it's a very positive scenario. We do have a new beginning and a conclusion associated with that specifically. We have 2 beginnings and 1 conclusion with that. And then 2 new beginnings are related. This may have something to do with property, so you may be thinking of moving or buying or renting another property. Person, place, or thing with the letters I and or H, possibly the number 11. Not a numerologist, so please take that for what you will. There's 2 helpful people specifically, and we're happy with this. Here you can see a happy face right here. Again, we have someone who's dancing. We can see the head, one leg here, one leg is being kicked up, and the skirts at the back. So someone who is very happy. So it's like this whole beginning of this week and this year, it starts off on a very positive note. We're feeling more joyful, more joyous. Things are going well. We're still, maybe even still celebrating in parts of the world, but still there's a sense of joyousness and happiness. Jubilation, feeling good and confident. And this may be regarding working with individuals specifically as well. Prosperity, it's a good harmonious scenario. Some of you actually may be, I know it's a new year, but maybe experiencing a proposal of some kind. So that's the case for you. Congratulations. Hope that you will be very happy. Swiftness of movement, going for whatever it is that we want to have. Being brave, bold, proud, strong, confident. Divine messages, news and information. A version of an eagle here. Now, obviously, eagle is one of the symbols of the states of America, so take that for what you will. Transformative process, something new that is transforming. Multitasking. There's a person, place, or thing, myself excluded from that comment, perhaps, likely, with the letter S in their name. You can see a version of the S right here. Even though we're going to know where we stand with things, there's still some unknowns. We still have some surprises as information and events unfold, but overall it's looking extremely positive already. Abundance, maybe being a little careful with her finances, but abundance is also being indicated. New beginnings, working with others, education, forwarding ourselves, furthering ourselves, self-knowledge, messages, news, and information, helpful people, close communication with others, person, place, or thing with the letters M and or J in their name. They also may have a Sagittarius and or a horse connection. Let's see that here. here. Time of being, again, retrospective, learning of ourselves, doing some self-study, some meditation, maybe some prayer, inner work. You can see there's an individual sitting down who looks like they're either reading or praying. Part of a whole new beginning. Beautiful new opportunity. Again, has the number 4 and or 11 associated with that. Just for the sake of not repeating myself, I won't repeat the meanings that I said prior. There seriously may be a thought here of moving. Helpful people are around. Messages, news, and information. Getting things organized. Happiness. Thoughts and ideas. Helpful people. For the sake of not being repetitive, I won't say that again. I keep seeing helpful people in here. Doing some inner work potentially, going inward, being quiet, doing some even reading or prayer work. Reading and or praying here. Maybe meditating. Going within. With that grouping, there is the letters F and or C involved, and happiness. There is also a little puppy associated with that, and also a little teddy bear. So unconditional love, support, loyalty, and commitment, and nurturing. Messages, news, and information regarding that. It looks like a very innocent, loving, gentle scenario. Feeling a little unsure of that, just always remember that universe is taking care of you at all times, and you can always turn to the universe for help. Ask for help. Ask for divine assistance if you ever feel the need. We're all free to do that. We all have free will. Learning, and also being analytical, using our intellect and critical thinking. Close communication. Somehow that is connected with very close communication between ourselves and someone else. Does look like there may be some romance budding. As we continue further, we are here. Happiness, person, place, or thing with the letter M, which you can see here. You see here a little clip of little paws. It's my dog walking around. Bree is her name. You've heard her in other videos. Person, place, or thing with the letter N in the name. Lots of helpful people are involved. Swiftness of movement. There may be a boating or boat connection, a water connection. There seriously is indications here of going inward, doing, whether that is looking within yourself, self-study, self-work, inner work, shadow work, praying, meditation, whatever it may be for each of us or any of us as individuals and or as a collective. You can see here an individual praying. They're kneeling in prayer. I've seen it 3 times in the same general vicinity, so take that for what you will, but really it looks like a really wonderful time to be doing this kind of work right now. Person, place, or thing with the letter W in the name, and there's individuals associated with this. The letter J. As you can see, there is a lot of information in here, so I'm being as detailed as I possibly can. Tea leaf readings are very complex, and this could very well be easily an hour, so I'm giving you as much information as succinctly as I possibly can. As the situation continues to unfold, just mentioning this as a side note, it's going to start off relatively small and then continue to expand and include a few other scenarios, likely towards the latter half of next week. In terms of timing, around the beginning of next week or the latter part of this week, like the weekend heading into next week, we have a very, very unique and interesting partnership that is forming. Maybe a third involved, but likely it involves 2 different people. They may not be seeing eye to eye, or there may be some kind of disconnect, a slight disconnect involved in some way, shape, or form. However, there is an opportunity that arises like between them and or involves them in somehow. And there's either a young individual involved or this portends some kind of new beginning. There certainly is divine intervention with this. I'm seeing reference to an angel as well as a departed loved one who was likely a male, so who is having an influence upon the situation of this new beginning that is taking form. It does appear to be very positive. Again, it's very unique, either a sporting or a musical connection, and a person, place, or thing with the letter M related to that situation, and also happening at around the same time. There is also another new beginning that involves either a Sagittarius connection and or someone that may have a horse affiliation or a horse connection. If not that, then there is, again, some kind of vitality or swiftness of movement, things taking place rather quickly, but really being unbridled and going for whatever it is that you want to achieve. That is very clearly being referenced. Some kind of new beginning, and this is also involving a partnership. So it is related, but it is almost like indirectly related. It is connected to that initial partnership that I just mentioned a moment ago. I mentioned this a moment ago, however, there are references in here to children. I keep seeing it. Whatever the case is, whether this is referencing actual physical human children, or this is referencing some kind of new beginning, a new start, a new venture of some kind, something new that is being created. It can be either or. I'm just saying that in case it makes sense to you for a reference. A person, place, or thing, likely a person who was a female, with the letters J, E, and or the number 3 involved, and this involves taking a leap of faith, likely regarding either, again, a child or some kind of new project. There's also a surprise included with that, and that involves independent thought, like thinking for yourself. There's money associated with this, and working with other people, partnership of some kind. So travel and or wisdom, learning involved, or some kind of contract, documentation. Around that same time, again, this is likely into next week, there is a person, place, or thing with the letters I and or L, getting things tidied up, organized, sorted out, cleared out. This is likely referring to someone, like an actual person. Self-care, this is referencing a female. So this could even be like a divine feminine, or taking care of the divine feminine within yourself, some kind of self-nurturing, self-care involving the feminine. This also includes a few new opportunity, a new beginning. Person, place, or thing with the letter L involved. Two helpful people, angelic help, swiftness of movement, going for whatever it is that you want. This also may again be referencing a Sagittarius connection. Reassurance, partnership that is beginning to form beautifully. It's like 3/4 formed at this point in time, and it is taking root. It's taking form very nicely, and involves a new idea, a new concept that has not yet taken place, but this is a new opportunity being contemplated, and involves a house or property of. At around the same time, we definitely have unconditional support, love, loyalty, commitment, guardianship, companionship, absolutely being indicated. Next week is going to be absolutely interesting and lovely. A lovely familial or family partnership beginning to take place. There's a scenario taking place towards the end of next week, heading into the weekend. Likely, if I had to place a date on it right now, I would say Thursday or Friday of next week. It involves a Scorpio connection. So either someone who is Scorpio or the qualities and characteristics of Scorpio. I'm seeing a Phoenix. So Scorpio and Phoenix are interchangeable. Fast-paced, a new beginning, a significant change involving the number 3. For reference, the Phoenix rising is right here. Additionally, right beside it, we have a beautiful angel. This is keep seeing angels throughout this entire reading, so take that for what you will. However, you may take this also as a reminder that angelic help is around you, it's around us, it's around all of these situations. Ask your angels for help, ask Divine Source Creator for help. I'm going to say this one more time for the sake of not being repetitive. However, I keep seeing references to horses and dogs for myself. Just to reiterate, horses for myself represent like I'm being unbridled, going for whatever it is that you want to have. Life force energy, just going for it. Enthusiastic, loving life force and vitality. That's what horses mean to me. And also with dogs, it's myself, unconditional love, support, loyalty, companionship, partnership, love, all of those qualities. So I keep seeing them, especially in terms of timing around next week. So I would say those qualities and characteristics are involved in whatever this event or situation is referencing. I keep seeing it everywhere, which is amazing. We have 2 beautiful letter E's right here. So person, place, or thing with the letter E involved twice. Partnership, the letter U. Abundance, letter N, the letter M. Angelic help, the number 4, and or the letter Y. A lovely partnership involving collaboration, coming together, wisdom, learning, potentially an actual book involved. 2 people, up to 2 to 4 different aspects involved. Heading into the weekend of next week, there are lots of thoughts, words, ideas, and conversations. Here we have a person, place, or thing with the letters P, N, and or V involved. We definitely have a Scorpio connection following week. We have the symbol here for Pluto. It's very small, but it is present, like a P, L, and like a P and letter L together. So, I mean, yes, it could also be the letter R, person, place, or thing involved. but there is a Pluto connection. There's some kind of Scorpio connection that is present for the next 2 weeks, and especially in this case, heading into the following week. As you can see, we are now looking into the base. So this is the weekend of January 9th and looking into the week after that, the week following that. You can see from the overall layout of the base that it is going to be a fairly busy weekend and fairly busy following week. Looks like right now we're going to have some time to ourselves, some quiet time. However, for the most part, it looks like it to be quite active as well. I've never seen this before. I'm always seeing new things in tea leaf reading. We have a beautiful, looks to be a fairy with a wing here, a head here, like a tiny, tiny little crown, a beautiful fairy wand that she is holding. So to me, the only thing I can say is it's going to be a very magical time, something highly unique, a unique scenario is taking place, something very magical, unexpected, and highly, highly good. This involves the letters E, U, and the number 4, which can also represent Jupiter, therefore Sagittarius. Keep seeing it. Again, the letters E and C. We actually have a double 4. We have a 44 essentially, which you can see in her wand. There's a 4 here and there's another 4 here. So my apologies for the flickering there of the camera. But we again are headed in for such an amazing and magical time. This is something like unprecedented. We also have an individual here who was like literally dancing and also maybe even taking a leap of faith, but really dancing, moving forward as well. Forward movement, feeling uninhibited, going for whatever it is that you want to have. As you can tell, a theme throughout the next 2 weeks. So I would say with all of this introspection taking place, we're really doing our inner work. So take this for what you will, but there are references to doing your inner work, feeling confident, being you, not being afraid to speak up, being yourself, really feeling empowered. This is a time of really stepping into your power, and that may literally being indicated in the leaves from doing our inner work, our own shadow work, going within ourselves, asking ourselves questions, studying materials, whatever the case may be for you, but really forwarding ourselves and learning about exactly who we are and not being afraid to show it and going for whatever it is that you want to have and being brave. Looks like such an exciting 2 weeks that we're headed into. Now you may be wondering about the lines around these sides of the cup. So I'm going to say in terms of timing, this is an event or situation that is likely taking place between Wednesday to Friday of next week. I'm going to briefly say some of the things that I see in there, and then we're going to wrap up the reading. Words, ideas, and discussions, and the letters N and V appearing yet again. Messages, news, information, partnerships, documents, helpful people, lots of thoughts and words, conversations and ideas being discussed. Creativity, creating something new, a new beginning. Person, place, or thing with the letter T. Protection, possibly an Aries connection, someone who is Aries, or the qualities and characteristics of Aries, or Aries somehow factoring in here astrologically. Wisdom, learning, getting things organized, helpful people. May also be an element of recording a video or recording media or working with media of some kind. And to conclude this tea leaf reading, I will point out just a couple other people who are dancing and who are happy. We have someone here who is dancing, and we have someone here who is dancing. So again, these are just all symbols and signs referencing to myself that next weekend, heading into the following week, we are headed in for such an amazing time. It looks like we're really happy, moving into our power, and things are going really well. So I'm going to leave that there for now. I know it's a lot of information, as it always is. Thank you so much once again for watching. I truly hope that you enjoyed this video. If so, please do consider subscribing to this channel. It really makes a difference. Also, perhaps give this video a like and leave a comment in the comment section down below. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.